Okay, we are recording.
Good, thank you.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone, as it says on here. I hope we're all well, and thank you for making the effort to be here tonight. Right, we'll go back to normal speak now. I've got 7 different points I want to cover tonight. I'll tell you the 7. I'm going to do my story, a bit about list building and diary running. And then I want to talk about the process, the business process of what we do. A little bit about the repeat of what I spoke about on Monday night about the upgrading part of the business. And then I was talking to Peter this morning, and I came across a piece of paper, and I think Rupert might have even been at one of these meetings years back, and it was just called One Page, and it had a load of choice phrases on it that we might be able to use in the process of building up a team. And I noted that it was first used on the 9th of April 2009, so it's not exactly new information, but at that stage, in UW terms, we were about 1,000 people then, and eventually we ended up with 25,000, and a lot of it came about simply because of the choice phrases that we used in that.
Hi, Steve.
And I want to talk about
Steve,
how are you? Apologies.
Say hello to Steve, John.
Yeah, okay. Evening, Steve.
How are we, guys?
Good, thank you.
And then I would basically want to talk about the training and presentations that Gary and Neil are running around the country, because this is the very, very start of a new thing, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail, and then we'll just throw it on for a few questions at the end. Nothing too serious, but really we just want to try and keep it as simple as possible. So number 1 point was my story. I know from looking at my diaries here, we started on the 3rd of August last year. Neil and Keith had been approaching me for a few weeks, and basically the conversation went, hello, John, how are you doing? Got something new here. You might want to have a look at it. With what you know, you could be really good at this thing. And it went in one ear and out of the other ear. And then another call. Hello, John, how you doing? This new thing is starting to work for us now. With what you know, you could be really good at this. And it went in one ear and out of the other ear. And I think, looking back, it was probably about on the 6th call when Neil phoned that I said, okay, let's come to some sort of deal. We'll sit down and talk about it. And at that stage, the first lockdown was just finishing. So Neil actually came to our house, and it's the first and only meeting that I've actually had for all of this business, right from the word go. So Neil came and sat in our front room. We talked about it. I didn't know what I was signing up for. It sounded like there was a fair amount of money there, and we did it. And basically, being a blue personality, Rupert, you'll understand that, and the others will now. It was something that, yeah, I like the idea of this. Let's see what happens. So we sat down and made a list of people that I wanted to talk to. I'm going to go on to that in a minute. And basically, I just started contacting a few people, having done some of the back office work, and also looked at the various courses and seminars that Ray Sinclair had run on in the back office. To date, where are we? Let's just have a look. So that was the 3rd of August. By the 7th of October, much to my surprise, we got to executive. We got some good people joining the business, and by that stage, we'd got just over 100 people in the team. And that seems to be the magic number for executive. Executive is the building block of our business, of everybody's business rather, and 100 people and executive is where a lot of exciting things start to happen. And the most exciting thing is that your pay, your commission actually doubles the following week. More or less doing the same thing, it will double. It's just the way the business is set up. And that position, executive, is more important than manager, than director, than any of the other ones, because just about anybody can get there in the time that's they allot to do it. You can do it very, very quickly. I think the record's a week, less than a week. Equally, some people will take many years to do it, but it's a really, really central part of the business to try and get to executive. And so far, as we talk today, we've now got 12 executives in the business. And that's been done by recruiting people and mentoring people and helping people along the way to get to the next stage. And I should think over the next 3 months, we'll probably double that number of executives. It's just the way that things are starting to move. We've also got 2 managers and 1,410 ace traders. So that's the size of the team that we've managed to accumulate, grow, mentor, cajole, teach, anything that you want, knock down. But having said that, at the end of the day, there has only been one face-to-face meeting so far. So that what the next few weeks, as things open up, there will be more of that happening. I tell a lie. There was one about 6 weeks ago when a few of us met up in London, and we met a lot of people for the first time, and that was just a Sunday morning get together with the guy that's not in our team, but he's a president, the black guy, Martin Arena. I don't know if you'll have seen his name around, but he's an excellent speaker, and he's a sort of a preacher as well. So he really knows what he's doing and can address an audience really well. So that was a good day. So there we are, 12 executives, 2 managers, 14 10 ace traders so far. And just to give you an idea how serious this business can get very, very quickly, we are on Monday, we were 342 days into the business, 342 days. And sales so far have been £2.5 million. And we have actually made so far out of that just over $130,000 on this little part-time business that's kicking away in the background. Neil's made more than 4 times that because he was in just a few weeks earlier. So it can make a fantastic difference to you, and it can become quite a serious business very, very quickly. And our overheads on that are 0. Our marketing budget is the cost of a broadband signal, which I get discount on anyway. And that's really been it. So the overhead and the cost of making this thing happen is incidental, almost incalculably small. So that's where we are with it at the moment. What I propose to do over the next 5 months is get our 2 packs, which we have at the moment, which have just been upgraded to 2 50,000 packs. So Betty and I are now trading $100,000 between us. That will double by Christmas. That my aim is to, by the Christmas period, to get that to 2 times $100,000 packs. And that will give you an idea. Each one of those will produce about $3,500 a week. And that would be 18 months into it. We'll have a trading take of about $7,000 a week. The uni level at that stage will be round about 5,000 a week between us. That will give you an idea. So it's growing quickly. It's growing well. There is, as Gary said on Monday night, we have about a 98% retention rate. So there are people that drop off the bottom end. But they're literally, it's so small that I can name the 2 people that we've lost out of 1,400 people. I'm not going to do that, but I know who they are, and everyone else has stayed in. So that's a brilliant a brilliant start, I think, more than anything else. So if you're thinking about, this is where I am, I don't think I've got very far with it, I would like to have got further with it, it is possible to move this into those levels within a year, even if you're starting on day one with zero in your team and just a $300 pack. We've put no more money in whatsoever, started at 300 and we're now at 100,000. So I reckon that's a good start. So that's my CFX story so far. What I want to do now is talk about how we did it and really go back to the very, very, very simple stuff. This is day one stuff, but it's worth repeating this and reiterating it simply because it works. This is what we've done and everyone else can do it. And the point of this is that everyone that joins your team needs something that is very, very simple. It's easy to replicate, easy to duplicate, because then if that happens, it's easy to accumulate more people and larger packs. And the trick, the genius of the system is to keep it absolutely and utterly as simple as possible. Okay, now we started on day one, and I started with this, really. Nothing else but this. And the action of going through your phone and writing down people on a list to make a list is critical. And write down everyone that you can remember in your phone. I had at the time, I think about 1,900 people in this phone, and half of them, more than half, I didn't know who they were. But there's a little story attached to that later on. So the point then is to go through the people that you know in your phone. Do not prejudge anyone. Write them all down. The mere action of writing them down and making a list makes a difference. It takes it from the back of your mind to the front of your mind for something to concentrate on. And you can also not only do that with your phone, do that with Facebook contacts, do that with LinkedIn contacts as well. I mean, I know Rupert's got stratospheric numbers of people on his LinkedIn, but what you're looking for is people that you can remember and people that you might be able to talk to. Do not prejudge at this stage. On Sunday, I heard something which was brand new to me, but very useful for list building. And you know, in the old days, everybody used to do spidergrams. And what Beverly does is take that particular person's name, say it's somebody that she knows reasonably well, and then write down all the people that they might know round them. And that will double up and treble up the number of possible contacts for the future. And if you keep that in a book so that you've got all these people, you've got a starting point for your list. Okay? We used to have a cat like that. Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. So that's where we're at. It's basically getting all that information out and putting it down on paper. That's the best place to start with it. The other one as well, if you want to write this one down, and I'm sure some of you will remember this one, frogs, Frogs. That's a little bit of a memory jogger. Think of it as friends or family, relatives or relations, always organizations that you might have belonged to at some stage. G is geographic. So how many people do you know in Luton, say, for instance? And then special. If you've got a special interest, that might be a quite useful one. Football, rugby, rowing, anything you can think of. Frogs is a good memory jogger. And also dig out your old wedding photographs, because there are people on that you've forgotten and you haven't seen for years and years and years, but that they are prime material to contact about CFX.
There may be some people you don't want to see again on those, John.
Well, that's it. Even so, you could start your text off by saying, "I swore blind I would never contact you, but here we go. I've got something here that might be of interest." Right. So you've got masses and masses of these, and the trick then is to keep adding to that list all the time. Now, what I'd like us all to do, just very, very quickly, is just simply say your prime job at the moment. Peter.
Prime job.
Yeah, the job that you're doing at the moment.
Oh, running a health club business.
Running a health club. Mike.
Retired.
Retired. Chris.
Magician.
God, you got that one, can you? That's great.
Running a business, helping people to focus on business growth.
Business growth specialist. Steve.
Health club owner and consultant.
Health club owner and consultant. Muriel.
Working for a business growth specialist.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the point of that exercise, right? And when you go around a room and do this with 30 people, it works a lot better, is that they are your typical sort of people that would join this business. And what you're looking for is their tribe. All the sort of the people that they know, they socialize with, they've worked with in the past, have a similar level of education, have a similar history, but you're looking for, as much as anything, your tribe. Look for your tribe and then go out, and there are hundreds of ways to do this. Look for people that are in that tribe. Say, for instance, if you're in the health club arena, how many other health club people are there? Equally, Chris, there are, I know quite a lot of magicians, none of whom I've approached. And there's one that we both know that I still haven't approached yet. So,
Right.
So look for the people that are in your tribe and do the frogs on them to build up that list. If you do start to do this on a regular basis, you will end up with an inexhaustible list of people, because you'll start to do this regularly and go, "Oh, I haven't thought about him for ages." The other way of doing it as well is think of a year, say 1980. Where were you in 1980? And who were the people that were in your tribe in 1980? And that can give you another reason to contact people. It may be people that you went to school with. It may be people that you were in a job with at that time, in another business with, that sort of thing.
John.
So that list building stuff is a really, really good way. And it's a talent, it's a level of experience that you need to build on so that you can be doing that all the time. To give you an example, I signed somebody up on Saturday. I haven't spoken to him for at least 5 years, but he came about from me revisiting my list and just saying, bloody hell, I might as well text him. And it happened. And he said, basically the answer came back, "Yes, I'm interested. When can we talk?" And I went, "Oh, ka-ching."
John, can I just ask, sorry, because I really do apologise, but I just rushed back and I need to go again as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I tell you what would be really helpful is, I think that's really, I think it's well worth it. Even if you pick up 1 or 2 little bits from these meetings, I think it's great. Just quickly, what would you put in? I'm sorry to sort of jump the gun here. What would you say to these people to see, what is the simple text that you would send?
Right, okay. I have it. Peter has the text because I sent it to him this afternoon, and it's the text that I sent to him on the 1st of October. And it basically goes, if you want to write this down, it's very, very short.
Okay, that's what I like.
Right.
I'll tell you what,
Okay.
I can send it to the group.
Yeah, brilliant.
But just basically, it's this. "Hello, Peter," it went. "Long time no speak, exclamation mark. Hope you are well. I was wondering if we could have a catch up. I have something that may be of interest to you. When would be a good time to call you? Let me know. Best wishes, John Weltz. That's it. And you can send that to everybody on your list over time.
Okay, that's good.
It's as simple as that. But what I would do before that is break that down into blocks of 20, so that you're doing 20. I was doing 20 a day at the time. At the moment that we use in Neil's team, 20 a week. It's really up to you how many you send out. But you can send 20 of that text out in about 5 or 6 minutes. So it's not a big job. So break that into blocks.
You wouldn't send a link to start off with.
Sorry?
You wouldn't send any links to start off with.
No, nothing. You send that first and foremost. The next job then is simply to take the volunteers. Just the people that respond to you, not the others. We leave those for later. So at this first stage, you're sending out that text to blocks of 20 people. Okay. And you take the people that respond back to you. Okay. And you respond, they will respond by text because you've sent a text out to them. People respond to text because it's much more personal. And then the follow-up, simply ask them for a time to talk. So great to hear from you. When's a good time for us to talk? Simple as that. Okay. And when you've got a time, that's the object of that call, the object of that text is simply to get a time to pick up the phone. And having now done probably about 80 follow-up calls, the process of that follow-up call follows a very specific pattern now. And it nearly always takes exactly 15 minutes. Now, the trick with it is to make sure that you've got that follow-up call booked for either 1/4 or 1/4 the hour. Because what that does, that signals to that person that it's only going to take 15 minutes. Subconsciously, it works far better than going for the hour or the half hour. Do the 15 minutes past or 15 minutes to. And if you want to write this bit down now, this is critical to that follow-up call. Out of the 15 minutes, it starts with hello. The hello takes 1 minute. Okay. The next part is talking about them. And the them part of the conversation should take you about 8 minutes. Okay. And as you're doing the them part of the conversation, you gradually move into the us part, the shared experience that you had with them. And that should take about another 2 minutes or so. And critically in this conversation, you should be talking about 20% of the time. If you're talking more than 20% of the time, you're talking too much. Because what you're looking for is as much information as possible so that you can hang your later hot buttons onto that conversation. So that goes hello for 1 minute, them for about 8 minutes, us for about 2 minutes. Then the next bit is me. In other words, the person that's making the call. The me bit should last about 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes, not a massive amount of time. And it's basically to give them a little bit of information about where you are now and a little bit about how things are going. And it's about the me part. The next bit is, which should take only 1 minute, is the it part, the CFX part. The CFX part should only take 1 minute. And it's basically simply saying, I've got into this new thing. It's starting to work quite well. I want to send you some videos to watch. That should take you just a minute. The 3 videos will only take you about 20 minutes altogether to watch. And then the last minute is how soon, critically, how soon can you watch them? How soon is a brilliant combination of words which suggests a certain amount of urgency, but also presupposes that they're going to do it reasonably quickly. And that how soon question should give you a time to call back to talk about it. And then as soon as you've got that time, you simply say, thanks very much for the conversation. I'll get back to you on the time that we've agreed. And at that point, the phone goes down, you get off, you talk no more, and basically confirm by text the time that you're going to call them. And that video, the CFX Success from Home one, is the thing that you send out. So there is no description of what it's all about. There's just a bit of excitement around that things are happening with it, but use that tool to get people to watch the videos. And really, once you've done that, the next follow-up call, once you've done that how soon bit, you've got the call, say, in a couple of days' time, but do it as soon as you possibly can. The follow-up call goes like this. Hello, Fred. That's great. Thanks very much. Having watched the videos, was it the passive income or the business building side that interested you most? Right? It's an either or, and it's simply that. And then the one that I've sort of cobbled together that's working really, really well at the moment. Well, at this stage, Steve, you've got 3 options. And the 3 options are the 300 pack is the least you can come in with. Yep. The 500 pack is the average worldwide. And the 1,000 pack is the average in the UK. Where would you want to be? It's as bold and as simple as that. And then finally, okay, when can we get you started?
What's the 1,000 pack average? I missed that bit.
The 1,000 pack is the UK average starting price, as it were.
Thank you, John. Well, listen, I'm going to listen to the record. I'm sorry, I need to go now.
Yeah, that's okay, Steve. No problem. Thanks for making the time.
Cheers, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, mate. John, I know, having talked to Mike a few times, the issue that we both have, and we've got people signed up, obviously, but the issue we both have is once you've sent out that video, so you've gone through the call, you've done this, you've switched the conversation, you've sent the videos out, it then goes quiet. It then goes very quiet, and
that's right. They
may well have said, yeah, I'll watch it tonight. So you say, okay, let's have a chat tomorrow. You call them tomorrow, they don't pick up.
Yeah.
You text them, they don't pick up. They don't text back. That for me, and I know the same's for Mike.
Yeah.
When you go into the void of people that you've spoken to, great to speak to you, blah, 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 just started this new project on, can I send you something? Oh yeah, that sounds interesting. Send me the video. That tends to then go very, very quiet. Do you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, given that
either that or they watch the video and then you talk to them and say, yeah, well, I need to think about it, and you've done all the closing. Well, I haven't got any bitcoins. I need to get a Bitcoin account sorted out. So you then tell them
that's at a later stage.
It is.
Which
you're still hanging on because they haven't done any of that.
Yeah. So let's just go back to where we were.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Where would you want to be, and when can you get started? Right. Okay. If you're dwelling on all that, the negative stuff, right? What happens is you stay in that zone. If they're not responding to you and they haven't come back to you, you do not keep following up. There is no point, right? But if they respond, and they come back to you, and they haven't come back to you, you do not keep following up. And if they respond, and they haven't come back to you, you do not keep following up. There is no point, right? But if they respond, and they haven't come back to you, you do not keep following up. There is no point, right? We'll come on to what we do with that at a later stage.
Yeah, because that's a critical piece. Because I've made that mistake.
Yeah. Because if you're starting to text and follow up and text and follow up, you come across as either a stalker or as somebody that needs some sort of mental treatment, right? Okay, do not do that, right? There are more people out there than you can cope with, and you don't have to cope with the people that are not responding at this stage. Okay, right. So and I'll come on to that after we've gone through this next part of the process. So, okay, so when can we get you started? And you're book a time in to do all the rest of the follow-up stuff, which traditionally Betty does for us, but you guys do it just as well. So, and what I say then is, after you've experienced and watched how the platform performs, most people will find that they want to do one of two things. And you're quite, okay, what are the one or two things? That some of them who are really pressed for time will actually come in and put more money in. And we've had, over the last 3 months, people going from 1,000 to 100,000 3 times. So that does happen. And it is gobsmacking when it does happen. It creates all sorts of problems, but it's great problems to have, right? Okay. But one of two things. One is more money, and the other one is people. What we find is people start to recommend what we're doing and start to earn from those recommendations. And really, it's at that point where I just leave it. Okay. Now, going back to what we were talking about the difficulties and the ghosting, if you like, and the no response from people. I've had, if you all took all of your ghosting people, right, I've had more of those than all of you put together. I can promise you that, right? One of the things that I do to get around that, one is I'm only interested in the people that volunteer to talk to me. That is pretty crucial that you do that. And the other thing is that I do about every 4 to 6 weeks, I don't make a note of it, but I do an update. I do an update of what's happening, and just a one-liner of what's been really moving on with the business. And it just keeps people there. They may not be responding to you, but they will be watching what's going on. And one of the things that I'm doing at the moment is sending out that we've just gone to upgraded our trading to $100,000, which is producing $3,500 part-time for us, and just leaving it at that. But you start the upgrade off with, I hope you don't mind an update, right? Would it be okay for an update? Or 1 point, that's all. And then you can keep, and then what I would say then is, okay, we've just gone over 1,000 people working with us now. We've helped 1,000 families and businesses to weather COVID, something like that. But then simply say, and I'm looking for more people, want to know more, and that's it. And the gradual feeding of that information in makes more and more people put their hands up. We had a rule. I've been in direct marketing for longer than I care to possibly imagine, but in direct marketing, we always say it takes 11 points of contact before people even know the hell you are. And I'm sure Rupert will back this up, that, there's somebody that I haven't seen for 5 years. They can't even remember me, but they've had 11 texts from me over the last year. And from that, as I said, one of those guys turned into a new sign up on Saturday. And he's had a whole series of texts from me over the time.
Well, I do remember, John, that text you sent me on the 1st of October.
Yeah.
I think I joined on the 27th or 28th of October.
Exactly.
So it took a month to get me to join.
People are not simply sitting there in their front rooms at home waiting for your text.
No.
We often think that because, you know, if you've had a good day, you get quite excited about it. But basically just going back, we're getting that information out with as little noise around it as possible by using a text. We use the tool of the video, follow up with the 3 options, and then simply take the volunteers. Brian Chittick's always said, look, we're not in the process of persuading people. We just want the volunteers to make a correct decision for them, because it isn't right for everybody else. It isn't right, but for some people it is. And the more of those you can do, and the less you prejudge at the beginning, and the more multiple approaches you can do by using text mostly, some Facebook messaging, and some LinkedIn messaging. That's all I've done. I haven't done anything else cleverer than that. And I've had more no's than all you guys put together. I promise.
I don't know, I've had a hell of a lot.
My no's are bigger than yours. Right, okay, so that's, let's see where we are. Just a minute, I've lost place now. But essentially, it's keeping it as simple as possible, because the people that you bring in also need it as simple as possible. And the people that they bring in need it as simple as possible. And by doing that, a simple, duplicable process is something that you can get right across everybody. And of course, you're not going to, if you concentrate on the people that can't do it, won't do it, or just ignore you, you will end up just concentrating on them and not the ones where, oh, there is somebody there, you know. And not everybody is going to say no. Some people say yes, and that's the way that it works, right? And I can't be more upfront about that. You know, that's all that we've done. I haven't done anything, you know, more WYSIWYG or, you know, more NLP or anything like that. But that's been the process of what we've done so far. So are there any other questions on that business process part of it?
No, I don't think so. I think one thing, the success from home would be, it would be a lot easier if one video ran straight after the other, because some people think there's only one video.
That's right.
Even though you say you've got to scroll down, you haven't. You've got to go back to the link, open the link, and then scroll down. So they haven't made that the easiest thing to use.
I think that sometimes does vary, and I don't know why, because sometimes it just happens. Other times it's more difficult to do it. But I know I've only ever had one where somebody said there's only one there anyway. Yeah. And that was Mr. Record in your team. Yeah. So anyway, any other questions on that at this stage?
I'm interested to know, out of the people you've directly signed up, how many people you contacted to do that? What's the ratio?
How many people have I contacted? Well, it stands at, I think we stand at 41 at the moment that I've joined, and really I think everybody's come out of the phone. I've got 1,800 people in the phone, but not every one of those I know who they are. There's probably half of them.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm looking for is is it 1 in 10, 1 in 20? You know, what is it? Because when you start off and you think, oh well, 1 in 4 or 5 of these people are going to be interested, and it's not. I think people get a bit depressed by that. So if it's realistically 1 in 20, let's know it's 1 in 20. Yeah.
I wouldn't keep score on that, simply because because you can go for ages and not get anybody, and then you can get 3 in a row. Yeah,
I understand that. That's not the question I'm asking.
I would say for me, it's about 1 in 12 to 15. Yeah. I would say roughly.
Yeah.
One thing I do know is that everybody that I speak to gets a chance to watch the video. What you're looking for, you're basically looking for people that qualify for your time.
Yeah.
Right.
John, as a matter of interest, a little bit of a question around this. The CFX Success from Home website, it's a very nice website, it's very simple. I think Mira and I were discussing this a few days ago. There seems to be mainly two groups of types of people. Excludes the ones which are no's for a moment. There are those who just, and I think you'd agree with this as well, that the vast majority will just be interested really in the passive income. And then we get a minority who are more entrepreneurial or more up for something that's more of a business in a box, as it were, and they'll be interested in the money part of it. Now, I'm being a bit presumptive what I'm saying there, but one of the things that I found we have to be a bit careful about is if they feel there's a lot of work to it, or it's well outside their skill level, that can have the effect of actually turning what is a possibly a maybe or a yes into a no. And then my only slight reservation with and this is obviously, we edit this bit out if you like, my only slight reservation with this is that on those videos are very well put together. It's very, very slick the way it's being produced. But I wonder if people go too far with it, there is a risk that people get put off. So I like the point you're making earlier on that encourage people to watch the first two, the 1 minute one and then the 8.5 minute one. But I just wondered in your experience, whether what I'm saying there, whether that's fundamentally correct or whether perhaps we're dealing with things a little bit the wrong way around.
My answer to that would be people will take on as much information as they want. And you're not asking them for a critique of the 3 videos. You're asking them what they like best, what they like least. Right. Was it the passive or was it? That's the question that you're asking them. You're not asking for a 3/4 of an hour critique on the business, because if you ask them that, you will get that. Yeah. And they will talk themselves out of the business. The question, the mere follow-up question, which is, was it the passive or was it the active? What did you like best? What did you like least? Notice those words. What did you like least? Not what did you not like, right? That filtration process of asking those questions gets them to start selling the business back to you and to themselves. It's critically important that you use those words.
Yeah. You need to watch all 3 videos though, because otherwise you're not giving them the business opportunity. So just the 2 videos wouldn't work. Ideally we want people who are going to be interested in the 3rd video, right? That's what we really want. Right? So you must get to watch that one.
Yeah, there are people that will join with no information.
Yeah.
Right? There are people that need everything in duplicate, triplicate, and a load of things. The process, that business process that I've described, lets people fall into the camp of the amount of information that they need to make that decision. We're not asking them to part with a fortune. It's not even the price of a second-hand bike to start, right? And then they can actually go through the process and do their own due diligence after they've joined and see it all work. We're not asking them to come in with $100,000 because that's a completely different game to the game that we're involved in, which is getting people to come on board with this, then do their due diligence once they're into the system. That makes the difference.
Like you say, John, as well, or I think it might be Neil that said this, that 2/3 of the people that we introduce to CFX will never introduce anyone.
No, it's the nature of the beast. Any network marketing business. Yeah, any network marketing business is like that. UW was something like 90% of the people that joined never did anything with it. But with this, people are paid every week whether or not they do something. They get that email every week which says, hey, you've made $30, hey, you've made $20,000,
one of my downline, who no one knows here anyway, but I can't even get him at the moment to respond to me to upgrade, which costs him nothing, to earn more money by upgrading, which takes 5 minutes now from your back office. He hasn't even got to withdraw his money to do it. He won't even do that. It's unbelievable.
I've got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who yours is.
Well,
But
yeah,
it's why wouldn't you do it? I don't get
well,
it.
you need to be very concerned for them and inquire to find out whether or not they're okay and if there is a problem with themselves, not with the business, but with themselves, because they may be very ill.
I've had, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. Oh yeah, I must do it. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow, and they never do.
I've spoken to one of them, and he said, "Yeah, we'll get around to it. I'm just really busy."
Okay.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. But it's weird though why you wouldn't want your Saturday email to be almost double what it was last week.
Yeah.
In
But
fact,
I
I
think
sent him a.
we've
I'll
got to
send him a
respect
text
where people are coming from, and that they're all coming from different levels. And you can take the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink.
That's exactly what.
So
John
really,
the other
you're
day.
looking for the ones that really want to take it to the next level, and do what you can for the others, but don't waste your time.
I'll send him a text this week
That's exactly
saying,
right, Muriel. I mean, one of them, one hadn't logged in for so long, they eventually said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." And of course, their password had expired. It was hell on earth. And in the end, we got her back into the system, and she upgraded.
And do you know what, Peter? That's exactly what you did there. Is exactly the sort of person that ends up as executive, because you're doing that little bit extra for people. If you say, what does it take to get to exec? That's one of the things.
I mean, I want to get there. Of course I do. But when I look at the people I know the people that are recommending and referring others, and that ratio is bang on.
Yeah.
About 30%.
Yeah.
it's either
Okay, let's carry on. What I want to talk about is this is something that I did in 2009. Choice phrases. A lot of this was to do with actually being out in the wide world and talking to people face to face. But as it seems appropriate that if we're moving into that area, that it should be quite, some of these are quite useful. And the one that I've used a lot over the years, and it seems to work quite well because you get people's attention, and it's really just the aim of this is to get them to watch the video. And if you've seen somebody just in passing, wherever it may be, I'm glad I've seen you. We were thinking, talking about you the other day. And these are very simple phrases, but they are very powerful. If you say, certainly going around the networking circuit, if I said to a lady, "Oh, I'm glad I've seen you. We were talking about you the other day. You have got 100% attention from that person. No two ways about it." Oh, well, can I just tell you, yeah, we were talking about you the other day. Yeah, you were on a list that we've got of people to talk to about our new project. And then you can take it from there. And that works extremely well. Yeah, I'm glad I've seen you. We were thinking about you, or we were talking about you the other day. And I had you on a list to talk to about this new thing that we're doing. You've got their attention and you've got their interest as well. And the other one is, which works quite well, and this is a good one to write down, is, wow. During the conversation that follows up from that is, wow, you're ringing a lot of bells. I really, really should be talking to you. And the idea is just to get a time to do the them, us, and then follow up after that. The other thing is when you're prefacing the introduction of the video itself or the videos themselves, most people get excited about this when I tell them what it's about. And then you wait for a response. Okay, then, well, what I'm going to do is get this information to you. But using most people, this is one of the big owl ones that you use all the time to get social proof about something. Most people like the idea of this is one I've used, like the idea of a 1% return, but this is a 1% return every working day. oh, really? How does that work? And that's part of the, oh, really, how does that work technique. So most people like the idea of a 1% return, where this is a 1% return on your money every working day. Another one that works well is everybody knows. And you can, everybody knows, everybody says. And you can fill in the bits after the knows and says, like everybody knows the banks make a killing out of our money, and everybody says they wish they could find a way to do something about it. Well, we've actually got something where you can get a 1% return.
Yeah.
And it's really just keeping spaces in that conversation for them to respond to you. The one I used to get quite a lot was in our local village where we used to live in Olney, the local pub was a hive of everything that went on. And I used to have my idiot Mini with pigs painted on it outside. And people would come up to me in the pub and say, is that you? Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Can we have a talk about it or start talking about it? And I would say, I never talk about it in this position. If you want me to go through it, you'll have to make an appointment to see me. And to say that to people in a pub, that makes a big difference because they nearly always do at that point. So, and the other one is the if and then. So if you're happy with what we're talking about, then what I have to do is, and that's quite a good one to do after you've done the follow-up call. Okay, so you've done that, right? The three options. Okay, so if you're happy with all that, then what I've got to do is get a date in the book so we can get you signed up properly. And that if then is a nice, easy way to introduce that and works very smoothly rather than clunking into it. And the other thing is, as you go along with this, and you've got people that have an objection that seems to come up on a regular basis. And you know what? For most people, the objection varies. For some people, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme. For some people, oh, it's not CFA regulated. Oh, it's not this, it's not the other. And you will find in your dealings with people as you go along, you will generally find one objection keeps coming up on a regular basis. It's weird how this works, and I can't give you the reason for it. But if you find that you've got one coming up on a regular basis, you start off before you go into the final details of the signing up, is to say most people have an idea that it's a Ponzi scheme. Most people think that it's going to take a long time to do this business. Most people think it's quite difficult. All of those objections, if you start off by prefacing your explanation about the business with most people, and then say and you've looked at all your main reason. And you can then answer that and preface it by saying, most people, say for instance, most people find it doesn't take them much time once they've got into the business. Most people find it quite simple to operate once they've got into the business. So preface your main objection by using most people, say the opposite to what has been happening. And that really nips that one in the bud before you, in your messaging, it makes it come across that is going to be a problem. If you preface that with most people, it clears that one out of the way. Have I made myself clear on that? Because it's the opposite to what you would think it might be.
I was going to say, John, on that, wouldn't it be best to use a some and then a most? So some people might feel it's a Ponzi scheme. Most people think something else or not.
by doing that, and that, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. What you're ending up doing there is diving into a long conversation.
Right.
Yeah, you're teeing that up for a long conversation. Are you with me? Yeah. Right. It's really, most people think this is going to take a lot of time, but when you get into it, you find it doesn't. Right. Rather than giving them the opportunity to talk about that in much more detail, 20 minutes down the line, having had that conversation, you will find that you've moved on no further. Right. But it's a short. These little choice phrases are generally very short, but very pungent in the process of doing it. Right.
Peter,
And
John,
then-
sorry, I've got to go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go.
Thank you very much indeed. But I've got some people just arrived, and I've got to go down. The next
Okay,
thing.
that's great.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you,
See you
mate.
guys. Cheers.
Okay,
Bye.
guys.
I've also got my daughter arriving at Staines Station very shortly, so I'm going to have to go and pick her up.
Okay, are we on time then? Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got to.
right. We've run over, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's okay. I just had one more sentence, but basically, if I'll tell you anyway, right? So if people don't know, or they can't make their mind up, and they give you a whole you start giving you reasons for that, there is a simple way to get rid of all of that, and this is NLP stuff. Basically, if people don't know or they can't make their mind up, you simply you make an imaginary box with your hands like that, and you simply say, okay, then, just putting that all aside for a moment, right? If you did know, what would your answer be?
Yeah.
Right. And you cut all of that out then. But that one works extraordinarily well. You know, I don't know the science behind it, but if you did know, just putting it aside for a moment, if you did know, what would your answer be?
I've got one guy I've been talking to for a long time, and he's the one that's on the fence.
Yeah.
I keep on saying to him, what's going to get you off the fence? You know, so it's almost like, and he's still at 6 out of 10 as well. I can't get him to 7 or 8 out of 10. And I send him results. I send him, you know, the monthly results. Look at this.
Yeah.
And he's still on the fence.
Yeah. He sounds like a good one to keep chipping away at. Not
He's
everybody makes an instant decision.
He's one of the ones I sent the Zoom link to for tonight. I sent it to 3 people. None of them come on the call, but at least I, you know, gave them the opportunity just to dial in and listen.
So just quickly then, can you send out the thing about the Staines meeting and the other trainings as well? Yeah.
Have you seen a Staines meeting, Chris? You're on mute.
I know, sorry. Yeah. I've seen the 14th of August. Yeah.
15th.
Or 15th, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. I'm sure I read 14th the other day.
It's definitely Sunday the 15th.
It's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Because of my friend who's interested in coming, he's in downline. He said that he can't do this. He went, it's on a Saturday. He couldn't do that particular Saturday.
Well, that's good then. He can Sunday.
Yeah. Are you
Sunday.
sure? Are you sure you didn't? Are you sure you didn't put the 14th on one of the posts? Do you want me to have a double quick check?
I really am going to have to shoot, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said the.
Yeah, you got 14th of July here. Oh no, that's tonight, isn't it? That's tonight. It's 14th of July. Yeah, that's probably
Sunday the 15th of August. I sent it. Yeah,
Right.
definitely Sunday the 15th.
Can I ask one very quick question? I don't want to delay Peter as well. Because that was about to lunch on me as well. First of all, John, is it possible for you to email across those 2 lists that you use, you know, based on the old 2009 things? So I do remember those, but I don't think I've got them anymore.
There's a lot of that's UW related, so I'll have to redo it. So
okay, no, whenever it'd be lovely, or if necessary, I can probably get someone to retype it for you if that's helpful.
I'll send out the link of this call.
Lovely, thank you, and I can potentially get this edited down a bit and then share it back with you, Peter. And
Brilliant.
on, and you can do what you want with it. So
Thank you very much, John.
thank you, John, especially. Yeah, and
book
Pete.
on the trainings and get your teams on the training.
Yeah, definitely.
That will make the biggest difference to all of your businesses.
Come to the Thames Club. It's a lovely place.
I'll be there.
I know John and Chris knows it well. So
Yeah, it is a nice place. Yeah. And you're right, Peter. Beg pardon. I was mistaken. It did. I was getting it confused with this.
yeah, no worries. No worries, Chris.
Yeah.
Right. Speak to you soon, guys. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks, John.
Cheers, Peter.
I'll see you, Chris. Thanks.